When I was a kid, my mom used to warn me, don't climb that. You'll fall and break your head. I thought she was just being so dramatic until today, because what you're about to see isn't someone climbing a tree. It's a man scaling a 68-story skyscraper. No ropes, no safety, just pure madness. Sometimes we chase the perfect shot, that one photo that makes us feel alive, but we forget how close we are standing to death. So today, we are ranking the wildest way people actually died. From shocking to straight up unbelievable. So let's get straight into it.
9. Unauthorized climbing. Known to his many followers as Remy Enigma, a French photographer named Remy Lucidi rose to fame on social media for scaling tall buildings and other high fixtures around the world. For anyone with a fear of heights, his content was nothing short of downright terrifying. But he received a lot of admiration and respect for his work, including the jaw-dropping photos he captured thanks to his willingness to climb dangerously high structures.
What did I just hear? This guy just wanted to die.
During a recent trip to Hong Kong in July 2023, Remy tragically fell from the top of the 68-story Tregunta Tower and plummeted to his death. While there are many questions surrounding his death, it's believed that Remy got trapped outside a top-floor penthouse and either slipped, losing his footing, or got too tired to keep hanging on while he waited for help. Remy wasn't even supposed to be at the building in the first place. He was given access to the property by telling a doorman he was there to visit someone living on the 40th floor. The person he claimed he was there to see has since clarified that they didn't know the daredevil at all. Surveillance video showed Remy getting off an elevator on the 49th floor and going to the top of the 721-foot building.
What? Why should he even go that high? Because I can't even climb a ladder, to be honest. This guy is insane.
To get outside, he forced open a door, and when he somehow got trapped, he knocked on the window of a penthouse where a maid was cleaning inside. The housekeeper immediately called the police, but Remy had already fallen by the time officers got to the scene. Lucidi's death is tragic, but he also knowingly risked his life countless times. No matter how skilled someone is at climbing, it only takes a split second for someone to fall. 8. Fake butt injections. 46-year-old Maria Olivia Castillo passed away in 2005 thanks to a fat blockage caused by what she thought were French polymer injections. Their purpose was to reduce wrinkles in her butt.
Fat butt injections?
She received the treatment in California from a woman named Martha Mata Vasquez, a 39-year-old former beautician who offered to do the procedure for people who were considering going to Mexico where it was much cheaper. What they didn't know is that Vasquez was actually injecting them with Mazola corn oil and that she wasn't licensed to perform cosmetic injections at all. On top of Castillo's death, similar injections put another patient into a coma and caused medical issues for others, according to prosecutors. They accused the woman of continuing to perform the procedure even after learning that some of her clients had gotten sick, charging $1,400 a piece for each injection.
$1,400 for a piece? What I thought the people want in this life, because I don't understand.
Decided to plead guilty to involuntary manslaughter and received a 15-year prison sentence. At her sentencing, she apologized to her family, her victims, and their families. Her lawyer, Tom Worthington, made claims that Castillo was unaware the injections were dangerous. He said that, if anything, she was simply guilty of negligent conduct, not intent to kill, and that the sentence was way too harsh. The case sheds light on the ongoing issue of illegal cosmetic injections and surgeries done in the US. Tempted by lower prices offered by the unlicensed practitioners, many take their risks either knowingly or without looking into the provider's credentials. But as the saying goes, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. 7. Killer karma. On a Saturday night in August 2022, a young man brutally stabbed a 37-year-old woman.
Oh, why will you do that? Why will you do that? No.
And her teen daughter right outside their house in Fukuoka, Japan. The victims were arriving home at about 10 o'clock p.m. when they saw the man leaving through the front door. He immediately charged at the mother and daughter, stabbing them both in the stomach before
This is scary. I'm afraid. I'm afraid, guys. I don't know if I should continue.
dropping the knife and fleeing the scene on foot. A nearby witness called for help and emergency responders discovered the victims covered in blood and clinging to life. The women were immediately rushed to the hospital where their conditions luckily stabilized. About a half hour after the attack and less than 2,000 feet from where the stabbing took place, the suspect was fatally hit by a train. DNA
This is pure karma, natural karma. Oh, this is not natural. I think he deserves it. Because why would stab a woman and her daughter, then just got hit by a train? That's pure karma, right?
DNA testing confirmed the man's identity, and his ID was located inside the victim's home, where he broke into earlier that night. The suspect was a student from Tokyo that met the daughter through a social app. When the young woman stopped talking to the stranger online, he tracked her down through a GPS feature on the app. The attack came during a noticeable spike in criminals targeting victims they met online, according to police data. Public officials have since stepped up their efforts to educate the public on this new type of stranger danger that's often at the center of violent attacks and similar crimes like stalking and harassment. While it's not entirely clear how or why the man got hit by a train, many people saw the outcome of the situation as karmic justice, while some may have even considered it well-deserved. 6. Playing with electricity. Infamously done.
To play with electricity? I remember electricity shocked me and I was crying, so I never tried going near electricity.
The Aachen Strangler, a German serial killer named Egidius Schiffer, was sentenced to life in prison in 2008 for killing 5 hitchhikers between the years 1983 to 1990. He was discovered dead in his cell in 2018 with a live electrical cord wrapped around his intimates. An autopsy concluded that the 62-year-old died from heart failure resulting from the electric current. Schiffer had removed the cord from a lamp in his cell, stuck the end of it into a nearby wall socket, and used it as a strange source of pleasure. The shocks were too strong though, and his body couldn't actually handle the amount of live electricity flowing through it.
Hey.
It's fair to wonder if Schiffer's mental health had reached a low point. After all, he was not only sentenced to spend the rest of his life behind bars, he'd already spent almost the entire 8 years leading up to his death in solitary confinement, all alone. Investigators considered every possible angle and ultimately concluded that Schiffer's death was an accident. 5. Rock climbing without gear. Free climbing is exactly what it sounds like. It's rock climbing without the use of ropes, harnesses, or other safety equipment that most people would use to avoid falling to their death. One of the most prolific free climbers in the world was the late Austin Howell, who shocked.
I would never do that. I would never in my life ever try this.
Even the most experienced climbers in his field with the risks he was willing to take. On the one hand, there's no denying Howell was one of the most accomplished and skilled climbers in the world, scaling peaks and cliffs that many would be lucky to climb with gear. But just one slight misstep or loss of control and it could be lights out for him. And sadly, that's what happened to Howell in 2019 when he plummeted 80 feet to his death from Shortoff Mountain in Burke County, North Carolina. County officials described the area of the mountain Howell fell from as one of the most difficult portions of the peak. The climber fell into a region that was hard to get to, and by the time emergency responders located him, he was already dead. Howell experienced a close call 11 years prior in 2008 when he started to struggle on an indoor rock wall. His belayer accidentally let go of the brake rope, and Howell came crashing 35 feet to the ground. After that, he broke 3 vertebrae and several bones, and it took months for him to finally recover. All things considered though, Howell was well aware of the risks involved with free climbing, and he took them all knowingly. While some believe that climbers get overconfident about their ability to avoid disaster, the plain and simple truth is that these athletes are just passionate about their sport. And if they want to do something that seems crazy, there's likely no talking them out of it. 4. Subway surfing. Subway surfing, standing on top of moving subway cars, has strangely become popular among teens over recent years, and the problem's only getting worse thanks to social media. Simply put, it's an extremely dangerous activity. A lot of young people have died doing it, and these tragedies fail to serve as warnings because teens often feel invincible or fail to consider the potential consequences of their choices. In one of the most recent subway surfing accidents in the United States, a young man named Jay Thiruvarayapurapam passed away in an incident along Washington, D.C.'s metro rail system. His body was located alongside the tracks at the Rhode Island Avenue station. Just a few moments before his death, Jay was filming himself happily as he rode on top of the train.
That was one of the dumbest way this guy died.
Closer look at his online and phone activity revealed that he expressed huge adoration for other young subway surfers, to the point of idolizing these youths. In one exchange, Jay praised a popular subway surfer from New York City in a text message, saying that he knew the activity was dangerous, but it was the only time he felt alive. Ironically, achieving that feeling was the reason the young man lost his life. His parents later revealed that their son's behavior had become more risky and troubled leading up to his death. Therapy was ineffective, and like many other teens, Jay placed a high level of importance on achieving.
I think it's sad, but this guy is very stupid, because you are just happy because you are living life, and being on a subway.
Internet fame. Jay's dad, Washington Post editor Desikant Thiruvananthapan, called for more to be done to stop teens from dying in these subway surfing accidents. The young man's mother, Vaishali Honawa, expressed similar sentiments. She said there are limits on what parents can do to stop these tragedies, and that social media platforms have a responsibility to take down subway surfing videos. Honawa also begged transit companies to step up and help do their part to stop the problem. Unfortunately, even when subway surfing videos are taken down from social media, the dangerous hobby only seems to be getting more popular. It would be great if telling young people about the dangers were enough to stop them, but there are clearly no easy answers to getting the point across effectively. 3. Being clumsy. During a tour in Sydney during 2014, a world-renowned American hypnotist named Dr. Scott Lewis somehow fell off the balcony of the 11th-story apartment he was staying in to his death. The 50-year-old crash-landed on the 4th-floor balcony of another apartment unit, bringing his life and career to an unexpected end. A sold-out performance at the Sydney Opera House had to be cancelled, and police immediately got to work investigating the mysterious tragedy. It was clear that Lewis died from falling 6 stories, and authorities didn't suspect foul play, but nobody understood how or why it happened in the first place. One theory suggested Lewis was climbing between balconies, lost his footing, and accidentally fell. If this was the case, it would certainly qualify as a reckless and arguably stupid way to die. The late hypnotist friend, Mark Kornhauser,
I agree,
told the Sydney Morning Herald that he thinks Lewis just fell over the balcony railing. He described his friend of 20 years as clumsy, with a habit of stumbling into things, but also as a timid and very cautious person. In other words, Lewis wouldn't have climbed between balconies voluntarily, and he definitely wouldn't have jumped on purpose. Unfortunately, the circumstances around Lewis's last moments will probably always be shrouded in mystery, but a tragic loss of balance is the most likely explanation. 2. Hiking drunk. In July 2023, 41-year-old Gerardo Hernandez Rodriguez and his wife spent a Saturday afternoon at Oregon's Multnomah Falls with their 5 kids. While hiking on an embankment running along the Columbia River Highway, Gerardo slipped and fell 200 feet down to his death.
Oh no. No.
Unable to see where he landed, the family instantly called 911. Emergency responders found Gerardo about 45 minutes later, but it was already too late to save him. According to authorities, alcohol impairment was a factor in Gerardo's death. While there's a good chance he may have fallen even if he was sober, it's probably not the smartest.
If you're out there, don't drink and drive. Don't drink and hike. Because only stupid people and dumb people will do this in real life.
Idea to hike along a potentially dangerous trail while under the influence. The tragedy happened just days before the 4th of July, and the park was busy as vacationers came to celebrate the holiday. Other park goers were shaken by Gerardo's death, and some were even afraid to hike along the trail he'd fallen from. Less than a year before, a 62-year-old woman fell in the same spot while hiking with friends and died due to a brain injury. If nothing else, these tragedies should serve as a cautionary tale about how at the end of the day, humans' fates are left to nature's mercy. 1. Death by selfie. When the
How can you die by just selfing? I don't know. Let's see.
selfie era began, it quickly became clear that taking a photo of yourself can be a lot riskier than it seems. Hundreds of people, maybe more, have died taking selfies, and the number just keeps growing. Sometimes a simple moment of distraction is to blame, while other tragedies sprout from people doing dangerous things to get the perfect shot. A young Russian woman named Xenia Inyatyeva put herself in harm's way back in 2014 when she climbed a 30-foot bridge in the city of St. Petersburg for a photo opportunity. The amateur photographer scaled the structure during the night while a friend waited on the ground below. At some point, Xenia started to lose her balance. She tried to maintain her grip, but accidentally grabbed a high-voltage cable and electrocuted herself in the process.
Rest in peace.
Xenia fell and landed on the rough concrete below. Her friend rushed over, but was paralyzed by shock and didn't know how to react to the situation. Emergency responders arrived and found the young woman sitting next to Xenia, who died from her injuries. The tragedy raised questions about young people's affinity for exploring and taking pictures of train tracks. Psychologist Martin Voigt told the Mirror that railway tracks have an aspect of danger to them, and that this is perhaps what attracts people to them. But as this and other tragedies reveal, sometimes it's best to admire something from a distance.
So there you have it, guys. That was the wildest or the dumbest way people actually die. So make sure you protect yourself out there. Be safe. Peace. I'm out.